One of my favorite ways to study or teach Tanakh, especially Parshat HaShavua, is through art, both by looking at existing art and by creating it, both with adults and with children. When I read the text, I am always looking at it with a visual, artistic eye. In this week's Parsha, Parshat Noach, the most striking visual image is that of the rainbow that appears when Noach leaves the ark. We read that the rainbow is the sign of the covenant, Zot Ot Habrit, between God and Noah, that God will never destroy the world again. The obvious question is, why specifically the rainbow? What exactly does the rainbow symbolize, and why? There are endless answers and interpretations. The rainbow has come to symbolize security, order, hope, peace, diversity. I was inspired by this parsha to look at some varied uses of the rainbow in artistic expression, and there's an endless amount to choose from. It's easy to understand why the rainbow would become a symbol of hope in many cultures. A rainbow only appears at the end of a rainstorm, so it is a reminder that even when it seems like there will be rain forever, there's always hope for change, for relief, for sunshine. As we all know right now, the rainbow has come to symbolize the hope of a brighter time once this pandemic storm has passed. The rainbow has also been understood, like the dove in the same story, as a symbol of peace. The bow of a bow and arrow usually symbolizes violence and warfare. But there are Jewish commentators who explain that the rainbow is actually an inverted bow. God is metaphorically pointing his bow and arrow not at earth, but away from it, turning a weapon into a sign of peace. Contemporary works of art in Israel seem to be referencing this meaning of the rainbow. Anyone who has been to the Israel Museum has seen this massive work, 44 feet wide, made up of 300 hand-painted canvases, entitled Whenever the Rainbow Appears. Although the artist is careful not to say what the work is about, he does acknowledge that peace is certainly one element of this work and why it was installed so prominently in Jerusalem. Similarly, in this wall mural entitled Through the Spectrum, Palestinian artist Khalid Jarrar chose the rainbow to appear on the separation wall near the West Bank. Of course, famous artist Yaakov Agam uses the colors of the rainbow in many of his paintings, but specifically entitles only some of them as rainbows. He says he uses the rainbow because for him, it is a profoundly biblical Jewish image. He has called the rainbow a visual prayer for peace. Closely related to the symbol of peace is the symbol of diversity. As Agam has also said, the rainbow is one of the loveliest sights in God's creation, as the colors stand out individually and yet merge with the color next to it, reflecting unity in diversity. Of course, the rainbow has become associated with the diversity of the LGBTQ community, as is reflected in this Jewish gay pride mural designed by Hillel Smith, where you can see he has chosen the Jewish prayer of She'asani Kirtzano, that God has made me as was intended. Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch explains that when we look at the rainbow, we see 7 magnificent hues or colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. But there are not really those 7 colors within the rainbow itself. When the rays of the sun touch the rain clouds, which are actually white, the reflected light which emanates from the rays appears as these 7 different glorious colors. But in truth, the color is the white of the cloud. And what we see are the virtual colors of the reflected light. So we may see many different types of people, colors in the world, but ultimately we all come from the same pure divine source. Interestingly, in Marc Chagall's many different versions of this biblical story, his rainbow is always pure white. I want to end with an artist that I just discovered and love, a Jewish artist named Elif Radinovich. In addition to these abstract rainbow paintings, Radinovich paints verses from the book of Genesis in rainbow hues, which I find incredibly powerful. This is the perfect week to do art with your kids at home or at school. If you're stuck at home, we're all looking for projects. So there are endless ideas for individual projects on the internet, rainbow theme projects, collages, melted crayon art, tape resistant art. And if you're in a school setting, you may want to consider using this as an opportunity to talk about diversity and unity and do a collaborative mural, one unit made up of many parts. But we know art is not just for kids, especially during this time. Art can be very therapeutic and freeing. Use these famous artists as inspiration. Don't need to be an artist to create something beautiful. May we all experience the many blessings of the rainbow. Shabbat Shalom.